to this wonderful new space. The first thing we need to do tonight is to call to order and establish a quorum. Madam Secretary, can you do that for us?
Yes, sir. I'm excited to do my first roll call in our new boardroom.
Yeah. You sound so good on that microphone.
Thank you. I was trying to sound professional. Director Edwards.
Are we out of order? No, we established our quorum first,
Yes,
and then
sir.
we do our pledge.
So let's start again. We was having technical problems. Director Edwards.
Present.
Director Pearson.
Present.
Vice President Humphrey.
Present.
President Hodge.
Present.
Secretary Taylor.
Present.
Director Milton Roberts.
Present.
No Director Petty. No. We do have a quorum, President.
Thank you very much, and I will invite all who are present tonight to stand and join us in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Chairs are great. I know, I love the chair. Look at there.
We're very excited tonight to be in this wonderful new space. For those who are gathering with us virtually, we are extremely excited to be in this new home for our board, as the superintendent refers to it. We will move on with the board norms for tonight. Even though we're in a new space, we still have our norms. And I'd like the record to show that Director Petty is now present.
Got it.
So I will ask Director Pearson to review our board norms.
Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
We use facts and data to inform our decisions in accordance with the interests of the overall district as a whole and not any particular segment thereof. We will support the delegation of authority of the superintendent in the day-to-day district operations and act in accordance with the 6 governing documents. We support the board decisions. We come to the board meetings informed and prepared. We honor our elected roles by being in attendance, and we will honor all voices by encouraging individual input and listening to others.
Thank you so much, Director Pearson. We are going to ask our board members to review the agenda for tonight. As you all are aware, we have made the tonight's agenda available to the public through board docs. I do believe that we do have an adjustment that we'd like to make. So,
Yes, thank you. I'm trying to figure out how to make the microphone work. I'd like to make a motion that we move item 8.04, the 2025 Summer Leadership Academy, to a discussion item from a consent item.
okay, so the motion is to move item 8.04 to item 7.03 for items for discussion and action. Is there a second?
Second.
It's been moved and properly seconded. Is there discussion at this time? Being none, we will take a vote to approve of that. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed?
Nay.
The ayes have it. So we will move item 8.04 to item 7.03 for discussion. With that adjustment being made, are there any other motions? If not, I will entertain a motion to approve the agenda.
So move.
Second.
It's been moved and properly seconded. All of those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it. Moving on to item 4.01. This is an opportunity for us to have public comments. What a wonderful opportunity to be the first to have public comments in this new space. Chief Norm, can you explain our public comments and the regulations around them?
Mr. President,
members of the board, superintendent, ladies and gentlemen. We'd like to thank you for attending tonight's Normandy Schools Collaborative Board of Education meeting. Before we begin, we will review the importance of conducting a productive and orderly meeting. For those community members in attendance who have signed up for public comments, please come to the podium when the board president calls your name. Out of respect for everyone in attendance, yelling, foul language, props, visuals, and addressing the audience are not permitted. Public speakers may not identify staff or students by name. In addition, audience members are not allowed to speak, yell, or cause any disruption during public comments. This ensures the Board of Education is able to listen and transition to the next speaker. The remainder of the meeting is designated for the board to work with the superintendent and staff to conduct the work as outlined in the agenda. Patrons who stay in attendance for the remainder of the meeting after public comments do so in an observatory role. Please note that those who disrupt the meeting in any capacity will be asked to leave and may lose the opportunity to attend future meetings. We'd like to thank you again for attending tonight's board meeting, and now we will proceed with the agenda.
Thank you so much, Chief Campbell. I do not have any record of public comments being submitted at this time. Do we have any that I've overlooked?
No, sir, no comments were submitted
Great,
for
thank
this
you.
meeting.
Thank you. We do want to remind the community that this is your opportunity to interact with this board, to hear your voices. It is a very important part of this democratic process. So we encourage you to submit those comments and be heard by this community. With that being said, I would like to say that Norm Campbell, you look really good on this video.
Yes, you did.
Come- Moving on to item 4.01 item 5.01 public recognition. We're really excited. Christopher Trahan, our Director of Communications.
Good morning, board. Good morning. Good evening, board members.
Yes.
Superintendent. We want to invite Makaria Payton up. I know that she's here because she helped provide the delicious food that we had for the ribbon cutting. So if she could come up.
Makaira, we are requesting your presence. Yes.
And if we could have the board president and superintendent come down. Up here, please. We want to recognize. Makaria, not only for the delicious food today, this is the second time since January that we are recognizing Normandy High School senior Makaria Payton for her achievement in a culinary arts contest. She continues her winning streak by bringing home the gold medal at the State Family, Career, and Community Leaders of America Culinary Arts Star event in March, after taking gold in the regional earlier this year. FCCLA is a national career and technical student organization for family and consumer sciences, education students in public and private schools through grade 12. And this marks the third consecutive year that a Normandy student has brought home the gold in this competition.
I want to point out something really quickly. Makaira didn't want to come up here by herself. There is a team effort for our culinary arts program. And so we're going to ask her instructor and our sous chef. I don't know what you guys call each other. He's the sous chef. We started this evening out talking about all the wonderful reasons to celebrate. And I am so proud of this team and this woman to my right. I just got some news from a board member, leaned over and told me something that I'm not excited about. William Humphrey, what did you tell me?
The Chef O'Bannon is retiring this year.
Chef O'Bannon is retiring this year, and we are heartbroken. We're upset about this. Is there anything we can do to change your mind?
I've already asked that question.
I built her a garden.
If you could join us in just celebrating Chef O'Bannon right now, there's going to be a lot of we would love it if you shared one. I know you don't talk very much to us, but we would love it if you had any words just to share with this audience about these students and this program that you built. We'll give you 30 seconds.
Okay. This is, for me, it's a great year to end on because Makaira has been a wonderful student. She's going to go far. I'm really excited for her. And to watch Caden kind of mature from a sophomore to a senior, that's what I really like. I see students for 3 years and I see them grow and mature, and it's just wonderful. And these are two great students, and I'm thrilled to be ending my 20 years here with these two students. So,
Thank you.
We've got other recognitions. We'd like to call up Jeremiah Kane if he's in the audience. Jeremiah is an 11th grade student at Normandy High School. He successfully completed the 2024-2025 University of Missouri St. Louis Bridge Program Saturday Academy, which culminated in a recognition ceremony on Saturday, March 1st, celebrating the achievements of nearly 400 St. Louis area student participants. Now in its 39th year, the UMSL Bridge program continues to eliminate barriers to higher education, offering year-round college access services to students from over 100 St. Louis area schools. As the university's flagship's pre-collegiate initiatives, this nationally recognized program empowers our future leaders and transforms lives. And he is not here, I don't think.
We want to give a recognition to the University of Missouri St. Louis and the Bridge Program. This was a great year because it came back to our high school this year. For those who do not know, the Bridge Program was designed for Normandy and then expanded beyond Normandy for the St. Louis community. So it's great to have them anchored here in our community. So let's give the Bridge Program.
We'd like to invite Nicholas Turner up. We are celebrating Nicholas, who is a high school junior, for his incredible perseverance and dedication. Despite facing injuries, Nicholas fought his way to qualify for the 2025 Missouri State Wrestling Championship in the heavyweight division. His excellence extends beyond the mat. He holds an impressive 3.5 GPA. And has earned the prestigious NWCA High School Scholar All-American Award. We want to congratulate Nicholas.
Come on up here. And his dad.
Well,
Sounds like the pitch. Yeah.
and we have Dan Redden, who is the coach, is joining us in the room.
Black man, love to see you. Hey.
We can't stop bragging on our students. Let's give them another round of applause. To have all of these men surrounding and supporting our young people is a reason to celebrate. Thank you, Pawpaw. Thank you, Dad. Thank you for coaches for encouraging our students. Yeah, 3 Nicks. Boy, you got, yeah. What else you gonna do when Grandpa is 7 feet tall?
Following up on our scholars, we want to recognize our staff. We want to recognize several of our special school district staff for receiving recognition for service to our scholars. Early Learning Center Special Education KDG resource teacher Crystal Clemens, and early child. Early childhood special education Dawn Wright. They received the Key to the Classroom Award for their outstanding teaching and dedication to student success. We also want to call up Charlotte Atterbury and LaShonda Wood. They were recognized with the Building Block Award, celebrating their exceptional work as paraprofessionals. And of course, Selena Todd. We'd like to invite her up. Selena is a district administrative assistant serving Normandy, U-City, and Clayton. She received the Lasting Impression Award for her outstanding support of directors and districts. Let's recognize these staff.
Oh, we gotta get it set. Let's get it set.
I know you got OCD.
It's not centered.
That's it. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Trahan. And congratulations once again to all of our awardees tonight. We've got one more recognition? Oh, yeah, before moving on, we want to go to item 5.02, which is a special recognition for our own Christopher Trahan. Yes. I was going to say that we take these opportunities to celebrate what is good and what is right for our district. And we have so many great things to celebrate. Our teachers, our instructors, our instructional leaders, and the people who care for this district. But there's no bigger advocate for our district than Christopher Trahan, so we wanted to recognize him tonight. So I'm going to turn it over to Superintendent Michael Triplett.
Thank you. So Chris is a very humble spirit, and he will never give himself accolades. So I want to make sure we recognize Chris for his hard work. Chris recently received his APR. That's the Accreditation in Public Relations, often referred to as APR. It's a voluntary certification that signifies a public relations professional has achieved a high level of competency and knowledge in the field, demonstrating their expertise through a rigorous examination process that assesses their skills in research, planning, implementation, evaluation, ethics, and current industry practices, essentially setting them apart from other leaders in this profession. I want to thank Chris for his hard work. We often talk to people and recognize people who receive bachelor's and master's and doctorates, but in the field of media and journalism, there is a certification that sets people apart from regular journalists. And Chris has marked that plateau, and I want to make sure we recognize him for receiving his APR. Thank you, Chris.
We didn't get Chris, you're going to have to make yourself one of these fancy awards. We'll work on that. We'll work on that. All right, so thank you. We're going to move on to item 6, which is items for information. Tonight we're going to celebrate all the wonderful things that are happening in our district. So we're going to call Dr. Payne up to share with us the exciting developments at the Normandy Early Learning Center. We might as well clap right now for Dr. Payne. We got fancy.
All right, so good evening, everyone. Good evening, school board members, Dr. Triplett, distinguished colleagues, families, and members of the community. I am Dr. Lenore Payne, the proud principal of Normandy Early Learning Center, where we serve our district youngest scholars. Tonight, I'm here to share a few important updates as we continue working to support the whole child and build a strong foundation for our students. It was supposed to be on the screen. Okay, so as you can see here, this is our current 90-90, and when you compare last school year to the current school year, we've actually increased with our 90-90. The months of December, January, and February, we did see a decrease, but that was due to not only the cold weather, but that's usually around the time when our students usually catch a lot of colds, fevers, flus, strep throat, but we still remained in the high 80s during those months, and currently right now we're sitting at 92%. I attribute that to this school year. We were very intentional with our attendance response team. We meet every Monday, and we're constantly looking at our preschool students and our kindergarten students who are in danger of falling 90%, below 90%. And our family engagement liaisons and our social worker and school counselor do a phenomenal job of reaching out to those families. And we've increased like the amount of home visits and stuff that we do. So like we really hold our parents accountable to getting our students at school. And also this year, the district, they send the phone calls home to the parents like after we do our attendance. So sometimes, you know, like a teacher may miss the attendance and the parents will call us and be like, hey, my child is there. And so that really has helped us as well. And we also celebrate our students. We try to do monthly celebrations for attendance, and we recently celebrated 247 families last Friday by having an attendance dinner for those students that had 90% or better attendance. So with our disciplinary infractions, as you can see, we've definitely decreased from last school year. And we were very intentional this school year. So with our preschoolers that transitioned to kindergarten, some of them we knew would need care teaming right away. So we hit the ground running with our esteemed SSD team that's here to just put necessary plans in place. And even for some of our students that didn't qualify, what I love about our SSD team, they're a big support with us, with providing us with additional resources and things that we can do for our students. So that really has helped us a lot this year with decreasing the amount of disciplinary actions that we have. So this is the fun part for me because I really love bragging about our data because we work very, 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 very hard, and we're continuing to work very hard. As you can see with our Ready ELA, last school year, at the beginning of the year, we only had 2% of our kindergartners that were mid or above grade level. This school year, at the beginning of the year, we had 7%, so that was 14 students. When we did our middle of the year assessment, last school year, we were at 11%. This school year, we were at 23%, and that was 53 students. And last school year, we had 7% of our students that were early on grade level at the beginning of the year. And this year, we had 13% of our kindergartners that were early on grade level, which equated to 26 students. And we had 21% of our students last year that wait, early on grade level. Yeah, I'm sorry. That were early on grade level at the middle of the year, we had 21%. And currently this year, we had 34% that were early on grade level, which equated to 73 students. And right now, we just kicked off our end of the year. Our ready assessment and our overall goal this year is 80% in ELA and math. And as you all know, last school year, we ended the year with 72% of our kindergartners on or above grade level. So we're definitely on track to meeting our goal this year. With math, we've made great gains this year in math. Last school year, at the beginning of the year, we only had 1% of our kindergartners that were mid or above grade level. This year, we had 5%, which equates to about nine students. We had 2% of our students that were mid or above grade level during the middle of the year assessment. This school year, we had 14%, which equates to 33 students. Last school year, we had 4% of our kindergartners that were early on grade level. This year, we had 6%, which equates to 12 students. And last school year, we had 7% of our kindergartners that were early on grade level during the middle of the school year. And this year, we increased that to 16%, which equated to 36 students. So with preschool, our preschoolers take the STAR Early Literacy diagnostic, and the 3 domains that it measures is word knowledge and skills, comprehension strategies and constructing meaning, and numbers and operation. So when you compare how our preschoolers did from the fall to the winter, at the fall, we were at 19%. Winter, we were at 72%. So that was a 53% growth in word knowledge and skills. For comprehension strategies, we were at 22% in the fall. In the winter, we were 79%, so that was a 57% growth. And for numbers and operations, we were 30% of our preschoolers meeting benchmarks. And during our winter assessment, we were 79%, which was an overall growth of 49%. Last school year, we ended with 85% of our preschool scholars meeting all of their Missouri Early Learning Standard benchmarks. This school year, we've increased our goal to 100%, and I'm pretty sure that we will reach that goal. And I would not be remiss to not give a shout out to my team that's watching online and to my team that's currently here, my SSD team. Ms. Lau, she's one of our esteemed kindergartners. She could have taught Helen Keller how to read. But that is all I have. I will entertain any questions or comments.
Thank you so much for this wonderful presentation. Can we just celebrate the gains that have been made at our Early Learning Center? Thank you, Dr. Payne. My fellow board members are over here writing feverishly, so I'm sure they've got comments or questions. I'm going to ask them for their questions now and to reserve their comments for the end of the board meeting.
Okay.
Cheryl Milton Roberts.
Oh, all right. Okay. My question is real simple. You're doing a wonderful job. Do you have enough slots? Do you need more spaces for kindergartners from the Normandy School District? Or not kindergartners, but Early Learning Center students?
We always need more slots for preschool because we currently right now have 105 families on our waiting list for the upcoming school year.
Wow. Okay.
Kindergarten, too, we're still enrolling kindergartners. I don't know where they're coming from. we're still enrolling kindergartners.
Okay. That's good news. That's good news.
Great. Other questions? Director Pearson.
Hello, Dr. Payne.
Greetings.
How are you?
I'm well.
So I have 2 questions. The first one is, what is the current ranking of the Early Learning Center?
Well, currently right now, Normandy Early Learning Center is ranked 3rd in Missouri. We go through a process again over the summer, and last school year, we almost were in the top 2. But like I said, we were number 3 last school year. But this year, I'm very hopeful that we will be in that number 1 spot.
Okay. My next question is, do you all work with any of the local child care facilities for like after, before care drop-offs for some of the students that need their service?
Yes, we work with several of our sister and brother daycare areas in the region because a lot of our students attend their daycare for morning care and aftercare. Williams Academy have been a great help for us this school year with providing basically a very nominal fee for our parents for their before and aftercare program, and they waive the application for them as well. So some of our parents don't pay for their kids to go there, but some of them only pay like $5 or $10. But Williams Academy have been very instrumental with helping us with our before and aftercare needs.
Thank you. That's my only questions.
You're welcome.
Thank you. Other questions? If there are no other questions, we're going to thank you so much for your presentation, and we'll keep moving forward. Thank you for your great work, and keep it up.
Outstanding.
Thank you. Moving on to item 6.02, our February 2025 Board Financial Report. Our CFO, Mr. Brooks, will present that for us.
All right, good evening, Joint Executive Governing Board and Dr. Triplett and Normandy Schools community. Great to see you all from this angle. It's a little bit, I gotta get used to this, stepping up, you know. But I want to basically walk through for a few minutes our financial position year to date through actually February of this year. And so at this time, we're gonna have our there we go.
We're still trying to perfect this, so give us a little grace.
Job, gentlemen. All right. Our financial position, just in looking at how we're doing year to date, we've got a lot of good news going on. Through February 28th, which is really the 8th month, fiscal month of the year, we have banked roughly $29.8 million in savings in fund reserves through February, which equates to a 44.14% overall fund reserve or fund balance. For the month of February, we had some positive things, but year to date through February, we've basically banked $48.6 million in receipts or revenues that we've generated through the course of the year. We had $9.7 million of revenues come in January, and so we've had a lot of an increase January and February with monies coming in. And so we're seeing a lot of positive things. We had protested taxes, by the way, that came in, about $6 million of protested taxes that came in February. So that was a large chunk of monies that we received. On the expenditure side, in February, our year-to-date totals are $45,738,000. So we saw our expenditures go up by about $11.2 million, and a lot of that was the result of paying principal and interest payments on our debt. So we had roughly about $7 million of payment that we had to make in the month of February on our debt. And so ultimately our total fund balance in our, what we call our operating accounts, which again, as you all know, our general fund and our teachers fund, that equates to roughly about $18.8 million of basically savings or fund balances in those two funds, which equates to really a robust 36.76% fund reserve. And that's outstanding. We're in a solid position year to date. As you know, the state requires in our operating funds roughly about a 3% minimum balance, and so we're about 12 times over that amount year to date. As I had mentioned, so we had an ending fund reserve balance at the end of June of last year that was audited. If you look to the far right column, it was at $26.8 million of savings okay, in our accounts. Year to date, as I've mentioned, through February, we have $48.6 million in revenues that we've collected. We have associated expenditures of $45.7 million against those revenues. And so our ending fund balance has actually increased to $29.8 million, which again equates to a 36.76% operating fund reserve and an overall fund reserve in all funds of 44.14%. Additionally, wanting to talk about some of the things that we as a district are doing on the financial side, some very important things on the operational side. We continue to work through the development of the 25-26 fiscal year budget this month, and we will be entertaining or meeting with you next month on May the 29th at 6 p.m. for a formal budget workshop. So we have that, and I know that the calendars, Mr. Rigsby has sent that information out, so we have that on the horizon. In addition to that, we are going to be amending the current year budget to bring it more in line with actual spending and revenues that are coming in. Secondly, we continue to work with the Highland Fleet Company on the acquisition of 15 new electric buses and also the renovation of our transportation depot, so that's coming along pretty well. That's staged to complete the transportation depot sometime this upcoming summer, and we expect to see the buses come in the fall. We're looking at a target of around October for the receipt of those 15 buses. Thirdly, Dr. Triplett and I met with our bond underwriter, Stiefel Nicholas, earlier, just recently, and we are looking at a prospective capital campaign that we're going to be working with you, the board, and the community on. We have the ability to go out for bonding for anywhere from $35 million to $50 million, but we're trying to look at exactly what is the proper bond initiative that's going to address all of our other capital needs district-wide for the long term, for the next 20 years. And so in the next coming weeks and months, we will be communicating with you on perhaps a capital campaign to get this initiated. We're looking at perhaps a campaign that would be under vote at the April 2026 election, and so we will be looking at how to go forward with that. Our construction manager, KAI, is working on a master plan that will incorporate all of this information, where we will be evaluating all of our buildings, looking at all of our capital needs. Of course, we've gotten a lot of the high school, projects done. We've, of course, got this board completed, and that's a great thing. But we have some more important initiatives district-wide in all of our other remaining facilities that we want to address. And so we're going to be, in the coming weeks and months, looking at all of those needs, capturing all of that data, and prioritizing those needs. At the same time, this bond initiative that we've got going on, this is something exciting that Dr. Triplett and I have been looking at, but we're also looking at a shift of some of basically our tax levy over to the operating levy side that would make more money available in our operating funds for things like teachers' raises, et cetera. So that's on the horizon as well. And then finally, fourthly, we continue our work with the Human Resources Department to solicit and implement a new accounting and human resources system. So we're working on that. We're working with communications. We'll be issuing the related RFP document at the end of this week. So we've got a lot of positive things going on. I do want to bring this to your attention. We have received some recent information from our federal government that they are wanting to restrict the receipt of title funding. Of course, we know because we have priority schools and we have some challenges, but we are seeing some communication from the federal level that they are wanting us actually to sign off that we are not going to promote DEI policies and procedures in order to receive Title I funding. So right now, the courts are kind of locking that down. There's, refuting that and contesting that, but we are getting some communication that this may be on the horizon. So we'll talk more about that moving forward. And finally, I would be remiss if I didn't show this next slide and entertain your questions. So this is our illustrious and iconic superintendent on a fuzzy day, if he didn't trim his mustache down.
Fuzzy day.
And so at this time, we want to entertain any questions that you might have.
That's great. We appreciate that. Questions for Mr. Brooks? Teresa Pearson.
Hello, Mr. Brooks. How are you doing?
Fine.
My first question is, do you see a drop in the fund balance in the future?
Okay, yes, I do. A slight gradual fund reserve drop over time. So we should probably, but we'll still be strong. Over the next year, several months, we will probably see our fund reserves drop toward the 20% balance as we move down the line, but then they'll get replenished back in December when we receive our tax receipts again.
Okay.
So they'll boost back up.
And my next question is, I ask you every board meeting, but this time I'm gonna write it down. What is the percent that DESE requires that the district has as a fund balance?
Okay, the state, DESE requires a 3% minimum fund reserve.
Thank you.
And again, we're at 36.06% in our operating fund, so we're well above and then really strong. We've got a robust position.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
We just want to recognize that it's such an important point to make, especially now districts similar to ours, smaller and larger than ours, are struggling with their fund balance because of the disappearance of ESSER funds. And so we take our hats off to this administration for being responsible in managing our funds so that we are financially stable in this district. So if you would, that deserves a round of applause. Other questions? You get off easy tonight, Mr. Brooks. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
We're going to move forward with item 6.03. We're going to hear from Mr. Jossie Haynes in KAI.
Good evening, Dr. Triplett, Board of Directors, the Cabinet, and illustrious parents and people of the community.
Good evening.
Just shake it off a little bit. You're in a new car.
Yes. Yes.
Last time I was up here, we talked about being in this space. Talk about that a little bit more.
It does have a new
car
smell.
Yeah. All right, so this slide, KI contract amendment process and contractor change order process. Completion schedule. So currently, like Mr. Brooks mentioned, we are working on the bus lot, the bus lot improvements that's slated to be done in the end of third quarter. This boardroom is complete. Obviously, you're in it. Oh, that deserves a round of applause. I wanted to just take a moment to just talk about vision and how important that is. Dr. Triplett came to me months ago and said, I want to build a boardroom for our board, and I want to do it the way we need to do it. No amendments, no changes, and how would we do this? So we sat down. Mr. William Humphrey was involved in that conversation at the bond meeting. We had the architects involved, and we talked about a process of how we're going to do this with minimal changes. And we established a budget, we established a project, a scope, a schedule, and you're sitting in the now realized vision by Dr. Triplett. So just round of applause for his vision. I'd be remiss to not also mention the former board members that were involved in this before we even started this, before everyone that is here got involved in this, with people like Ron Roberts and the other board members that were involved in this project. They also were part of that vision, so I want to make sure they're recognized as well. So moving on to the additional facility support by the end of this fourth quarter, Viking Hall interior cosmetic upgrades. We're working on the track concession stand updates, the press box interior updates, the facilities master plan, which is planned to be, we're going to have a conversation. This is going to be a tiered process. It's not going to just be a one and done. We're going to have many conversations, as Mr. Brooks talked about. There's funding that's being allocated. So as we look at the master planning schedule, my team, we're really diving in internally on our side, so we're prepared to ask you the right questions. And we're going to talk about together as a team, how do we put this together and make it make sense for the district? So there's going to be some hard questions, some difficult spaces that we're going to have to be in as we look at the facilities, and we're going to look at places, we're going to sit down, talk about it, get a team involved, and then we're going to just really evaluate where we are with these facilities. I think what's going to be clear is that a lot of our facilities have deferred maintenance. And what that means is they haven't been touched. They haven't been touched. When we were doing this building, this room right here, we found a lot of challenges in here, but we were able to mitigate them by working on them ahead of time before they became a problem during construction. So we're going to do the same thing, the same type of phase, and I plan on meeting the end of second quarter or the beginning of third quarter for our meetings. So this is a rendering. You guys get used to seeing renderings and seeing them complete. High school track and field improvements, construction renovations is in progress. We are planning to start the construction of this project in the beginning, I think, by the end of this month. Here's what the scoreboard is going to look like. Here's the high school athletic logo for the N for Normandy. Here's just a rendering of, or not a rendering, an actual visual presentation of what the lighting will be on this field. Now we're working with the city currently to make sure that what is approved by this particular municipality. So City of Wellston, we're talking to them to make sure that they're okay with us providing lighting so that you can have games at night. Here is the board. The board has asked for a projection of what the cost will be for the ESSER funds. Moving on from this board meeting, we're going to continue to talk about the active projects. So we're going to really just dive deep into these scopes. But this is just what we are using as an educated guess for the finance team to have an idea of how the ESSER funds are going to be spent throughout the year. So, as a reminder, and this will probably be the last time it was asked that we kind of move to the future, because the $44 million is just a combination of ESSER funds and the $26 million bond that was previously allocated for these projects. And this is just how the funds came together and how we got to that $44 million top line number. Here's just throughout the projects, the life cycle of the projects. We work through our contracts, our approved changes, our pending changes. We have none. We have no pending change orders currently. So that 37 is the exact number where we landed to finish out all of the Prop V projects. What that leads to is we continue to monitor the MBE spend, but those projects are wrapped up. So this slide will be taken out moving forward. Well, we are continuing to track our MBE and WBE participation on all the projects. And this leads to our $2.2 million in savings throughout the life cycle of this project. And that deserves a round of applause because that was a team effort. We looked at everything. We recently were able to save $160,000 that came up in the actual football field. They came and they were asking for extra money, but because of the contract that we had written in conjunction with the district and under Dr. Triplett's leadership, we decided that we would not entertain that change and hold them to the carpet because the contract stated that they are giving us a design build contract and it's under their purview to make sure that they're providing us exactly what we paid for. So we were able to save another $160,000, would equal up to $2.2 million in savings total. All right, so this is just a shameless plug, but it's not so shameless. Currently, there are over 100 students that are being affected by Annie Malone that are being used in their program that they have for Normandy. I sit on the board, and I'm also been charged by this board to make sure that I'm looking out for our students. The Annie Malone Children Family Services not only provides services in the city but also in the county, and they support Normandy in a very major way. 100 students are being affected by Annie Malone that are using their services, and there's been a long-standing history of Normandy being a part of the parade. Yeah. The Annie Malone Parade. We had originally started to pause it, but it's still in motion. It's still happening on May 18th, and I expect to see all of you there. So support this organization, support their efforts because it's supporting you as well. So I'm hoping that you all will get involved. If you have your sorority, your fraternity, everyone, we are asking that you sign up. The registration closes on April the 20th.
She said 30th.
She said 30th? All right, she gave you guys grace. April 30th. So get signed up. And I just wanted to reiterate that the Economic Mobility Program supports children who are interested in the construction industry. We have facilities over at Annie Malone where they're learning to get certifications in what do you call it? Forklift training and different aspects that they can use to get right out of high school and start working right away with construction industries like ours. And we're also looking to take those students and bring them in for internships at KAI. There's just another slide, and I am open to questions.
Thank you so much, Jassy. We appreciate the presentation, and we will entertain questions at this time.
Good evening.
Ms. Taylor.
Good evening. Thank you for the presentation. You mentioned about the facilities master plan, and you said that you will be sitting down and exactly who will be a part of that particular planning process.
So that will be a decision by the district. So you all will tell me who will be. What we'll do is we'll set up the meeting with Dr. Triplett, and we'll make sure that he includes all those that are necessary to be. It's going to be there. What I see, just from a perspective, is that there'll be a smaller group that will decide on the larger group, and we're probably going to speak to each facility. And that's the way I would propose that we do this. We speak to each facility as we kind of tear this in. We say, okay, we're going to look at different schools, Bell Nor, and those different places, and make sure that we're addressing their needs. One, because there'll be a facility, like I said, the deferred maintenance. Look at this, and there'll also be just a capital campaign that will have to be considered when we're looking at this. So we'll look at different micro groups and then macro groups.
Okay, just wanted to confirm that some of the board will be
Absolutely.
a part of that.
Oh, well, I'm not going to make that decision. You're going to tell me.
No, well, I know that you wouldn't
I
make
work
it by
for you.
yourself. Yeah, but we just wanted to confirm that the board will be included in that because everything that's been done, we know that the board has had an input, and so we just want to be a part of that planning as well.
Great. Thank you. Cheryl Milton Roberts.
Yes, my question is really simple, I guess, and that is, as you're doing the buildings and grounds planning and surveying, will that include playground spaces and outdoor spaces as well, or is that something that we have to decide as we?
You'll decide and tell me what we'll look at. Because as we look at what we are able to spend on the projects, we're going to have to determine what's the highest priority.
Right.
You know, I would imagine if there's leaks and broken sinks and different things like that, anything that's life safety will probably be first, and then we'll look at whatever you want to look at. But we'll look at everything, put a list together, and prioritize what's going to be attacked first.
And just a question, because I don't know. Are there guidelines? I'm assuming that there are, from a safety standpoint, as far as what should be down for the playground, the number of pieces of equipment, against the number of kids in a building, things like that. So we'll adhere to those standards.
Absolutely.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Teresa Pearson.
Good evening, Jassy.
Good evening.
So you stated that you will have a planning committee. Will you include any of the students in that planning committee?
I have no problem with the students. I believe the children are the future, and I will welcome that. I would think that would make the most sense as they are the ones that are using these facilities, and probably be able to speak to that. That would be an amazing addition to this committee.
Okay, thank you.
Other questions? I do want to take a moment for recognition here. About 3 years ago, when I came onto this board, Ron Roberts was our president, and we were in the middle of the construction projects throughout the district, mainly at the high school. And at that time, we needed board representation in the spaces. Ron assigned William Humphrey to sit in on those meetings. And we all said, William Humphrey, he don't know anything about construction. He said, well, I built a few things. Since that time, he has leaned into all of these construction meetings. He now knows all the language. He understands everything that is happening. We've totally abdicated responsibility for oversight from the board in that process. And so I want to thank William Humphrey for putting in the time and overseeing almost every project that has been happening in this district. Would you join me in recognizing him for that? Thank you so much, Jossie. We appreciate it. Thank you for your work and your commitment. And go, Annie Malone. We love what Annie Malone is doing, and thank you for your commitment to that organization. We're going to move on to item 6.04, residency and enrollment updates for the spring of 2025.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Esteemed board members of Normandy Schools Collaborative, Superintendent Dr. Triplett, and valued community stakeholders. I'm Michelle Shumpert, and I serve as the district's coordinator of McKinney-Vento Services. I'm here to present the district's special enrollment updates. We currently have 110 students less than we had at the end of school last year. So, however, students are continuing to enroll in the district. So we'll probably meet or exceed the number of students that we serviced last year. McKinney-Vento is a state mandate, well, actually a U.S. mandate, ensuring homeless students and youth have the right to a free, equitable public education without discrimination. School districts are mandated to designate a homeless coordinator to ensure school stability and refrain from requiring documents that homeless students may lack due to their living situations. Foster care is one of the things that I'm also in charge of, and that is the custody and control is taken away from parents and temporarily granted to family members, foster families, or students may be placed in group homes. But the ESSER was enacted in an effort to continue school stability and for the immediate enrollment of students without the necessary documents. Are there any questions?
Thank you, Ms. Shumper. This is the first time we've heard from you, so this is really great. We appreciate this information, so I'm sure there are other questions. Teresa Pearson.
Good evening. My question is, do you work a lot with the FAILs with dealing with your special enrollment students?
So the FAILs are kind of a separate entity. When I need to be pulled in, I am pulled in, but they are not in collaboration with me, no.
Okay.
Milton Roberts.
Hello, thank you for your presentation. My question, it seems like a very big job. What else do you need in the way of support? What can we do to make your world work more smoothly?
Is it possible for me to maybe get with you on?
Yeah, definitely.
Okay.
Just know that as a board, we're here, and so Dr. Triplett and the board will be interested if there's anything else that we need to do.
Thank you.
You presented some numbers to us early in your presentation, and I think the numbers were 438 students last year.
Yes.
And that number is down.
It is down, but it's actually not down. It's right on target. Last year, that was our ending number, not this time last year. So we still have 2 months of school or 7-8 weeks of school left still. So as a matter of fact, when I did this, I've probably enrolled 10 more students in the program since then.
We know housing insecurity is a major challenge for our region, and so students are very transient in all of St. Louis County, especially since the changes in St. Louis City.
Yes.
And those services are now coming out to St. Louis County. Help us understand the unique situations that we have with these changes in numbers so that we have an appreciation for the fluctuation in these numbers.
Okay, so families in, I guess, urban districts are normally they're in a doubled up situation. Most times students are living with a grandparent or an aunt or an uncle due to economic hardship, or it could be just a way of life. So our numbers are, I wouldn't say significantly high because St. Louis Public School probably has almost 20,000 students, but probably 5,000 are homeless. So it's kind of equitable, but because of the economic hardships of COVID and different storms, job loss, things like that cause families to move into areas such as ours. And we actually have a lower housing and rental property within our district. If you go out to some of the other districts, they're $1,800 to rent, whereas you can find a home in our district for $8,000 to $1,000. So that's a difference as well.
So we have would you say that we have a disproportionate amount of homeless students in our district when compared to other St. Louis County school districts?
No, I would not. I would say we're more equitable probably to the St. Louis Public and the Jennings and maybe Riverview, just because of our size. With those districts, we correlate with them, but all of those districts are probably about almost a fourth of their population being McKinney-Vento.
Okay. Thank you. Other questions? Thank you so much for your presentation.
Thank you.
We'll move on to item 6.05. We'll hear from Chief Norman Campbell. Or did I skip?
No.
You excited today, Dr. Brooks, aren't you? Yeah, we got you.
I'm glad to see you awake.
Trying to cheat me out of my spot, man.
Chief Campbell, good to see you.
Thank you, sir. Good to see you also. Again, good evening, Board President, members of the board, Dr. Triplett, ladies and gentlemen. Tonight, I will be going over our out-of-school suspensions for the month of March. So we had altogether 47 out-of-school suspensions for the month of March. And those are the weeks that they were calculated. As you know, March 17th, we were on spring break, so we had a total of 0, thank God. And then these are the numbers, or how it was broken down. 18 cell phone suspensions and 29 physical altercations. And all this is, we've seen actually a reduction of suspensions in this year due to the fact that security team and building leaders are working together to come up with an alternative method of dealing with these infractions. We have done a lot of different things to try to change the culture and climate in the schools. We have increased our on-campus security visibility with mobile and foot patrols in the buildings and the communities. We've improved communication protocols with the building and staff for quicker responses to incidents. We have also implemented restorative practice training and de-escalation training techniques to support our students that are being re-engaged into our buildings. And we have used a lot of data to identify the patterns that these incidents are occurring and tried to come up with strategic plans and how to deal with those and head them off at the path. Additionally, our team is working continue to work with the building leaders to implement targeted behavior supports and ensure students have access to reach-around services to help deal with some of these breakdowns that they're having and why they're dealing and why they're are having so many issues and dealing with some of the students that are repeat offenders. And those are our cell phone numbers for the month of March. As you can see, the middle school and high school have the majority, unfortunately, but those are the numbers, and we are still coming up with alternative methods to deal with these students and the cell phone infractions. And I'll entertain any questions.
Questions?
Yes.
Ms. Taylor.
Let me work my fancy microphone up here. It's not just push the button, you have to slide and push.
We're learning.
You said, it was saying it's 18 incidents for the cell phones. And so these are students who have gone through what I think is 4 infractions to get
Yes,
to
ma'am.
that
Through
point.
the protocols,
Through
absolutely.
the program. So I think that's a fairly good number.
And that's district-wide, so
Yeah.
so mind you that's district-wide. So I think that's a pretty
Yeah.
good number, and I'm actually personally encouraged by that number.
I am as well, and
Thank
you
you.
know that I am. The other one is the repeat offenders. So you have those students who are repeat offenders. Are there any steps that are being taken to deal with these particular students, and are they a part of these 18?
You know, that's a good question. I don't know, but there is something that we are working with Student Support Services on coming up with a 5th step and what that looks like. So we will just stand by and we'll come up. I'll have a report on that next time I report.
And one final question. So those students that are repeat offenders, are you all reaching out to the parents? Or are you having any success with
Absolutely,
the parents?
absolutely.
Or the
That is part
parents
of the-
taking it serious and they understand that, something needs to be done about your particular child? Because
I
we
would
know
say
it's
so,
not everyone.
and I'm not in on those meetings particularly, but I would refer to the building principals for that answer. But I would probably say yes due to the number going down.
Okay.
So I would say yes, ma'am.
Okay, thank you.
Other questions? One of the things that you showed us was the physical altercations.
Yes, sir.
We know that those are down from previous years in this month.
Yes, sir.
But you only showed us this month and this year. Is that because you have a goal to reduce that to 0?
Absolutely. That's always the goal. That is the goal of everybody that's sitting in this room, is to change the culture and climate where students can come to school and learn and be safe and concentrate on the curriculum and not have to look over their shoulders for fights or people that are after them. So the goal is 0. Yes, sir.
Thank you so much. I appreciate that goal because we know that this really is the safest community in St. Louis County.
Absolutely.
And it should be reflected in everything that we do. I am going to ask, it just didn't sit right in my spirit, so forgive me. But I don't like the term, I know it's a legal term and we use that in the criminal justice system, repeat offender.
Yes.
It just doesn't sit well with me
Absolutely. I understand that.
when referring to our scholars.
Yes.
Can we have some conversation about
Absolutely.
that? Maybe there's some other terminology that we can use.
Frequent flyers.
Frequent flyers is a youth-friendly term.
Yes.
Yeah, because we know that our students are trying to get it together, and we're going to help them. And so thank you so much for your work. We appreciate what you're doing in our district and for helping to make this a safer community for us all. So
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Yes, sir.
We do have one more item in items for information. I think this is the part where Dr. Brooks comes up. Yes. Item 6.06, our attendance update as of March 31st, 2025.
Good evening, everyone.
Good
evening, Dr. Triplett, Ms. Rigsby, President Hodge, and other members of the board. My name is Tony Brooks, and I'll be presenting on attendance and parent portal. My strategic priority that we're focusing on is engaging environments where we're providing safe and engaging learning environments with robust social, emotional well-being and being trauma-informed. As we all know, attendance is necessary when supporting students' learning and being engaged. As expected, when you look at our attendance, not just from last year, but also from just last month, when you look at February to March, it has increased by 4%. This trend is expected, and it will continue to grow in the right direction. As Dr. Payne mentioned earlier, during the winter months, attendance takes a dip, and it takes a dip because of the weather, and also just due to sickness. It happens every year. When we look at our parents that are enrolling in Power School, what is Power School? Power School is our student information system that all parents must enroll our students in, and it's a really, really big part of what it is that we do. Power School is used not just for enrollment, but also for surveys, also collecting documents, and also reflecting on actions regarding discipline with our student body. The trend right now, we're about to do a really, really big push because our culture and climate surveys are going out this week and have gone out actually today. So we're really pushing for parents to get involved and make sure they get into Power School so that we can enroll our students, not just for summer school, not just for the 25-26 school year, but also these surveys. Again, that's where they'll complete these surveys. If you look at our school sites, they will show you our percentages regarding the number of parents and guardians who have signed up for Power School. As we see, we have Washington in the lead. Shout out to Dr. Hollins, as well as we're having other schools that are really trying to pursue that #1 spot. But we want 100% saturation as far as parents enrolling in. But we have to have that. So everyone who can hear my voice, I need your help in ensuring that parents know that Power School is our student information system, and we need them to get enrolled. If you don't know how to do that, just reach out to your building, and they'll be able to help you where your child is attending. Thanks. Any questions?
Thank you, Dr. Brooks. Questions?
Really quick, President. Dr. Brooks, what is that deadline?
For summer school, the deadline?
No, for
survey?
the parent portal competition.
The
parent portal competition? May who?
Oh, May 11th.
Okay.
Just to be clear, we want all parents to enroll in Power Schools by May 11th because we have a very important survey that's coming out. Our culture and climate survey is coming out.
Correct, but we want them to do it today.
We want them to do it today.
Yes, we need them to do it.
Don't wait till May 11th.
Do not wait.
Do not wait.
We need them to do, and again, everyone who can hear my voice.
Yes.
If you are a parent or a guardian, or you know a parent or guardian, please encourage them to get enrolled today in Power School.
Right now.
Right now.
Right now. That's right. Great. Teresa Pearson.
Hello, Dr.
Hi, Ms.
Brooks.
Pierce.
I feel like you were targeting me, but it's okay.
No way.
Well, in speaking of Power School, for the parents who have not set up their account or even the app, because did y'all know it was an app? I didn't know it was an app. So that's why I feel like he was targeting me. But will there be some type of support for the parents that want to sign up for that app or actually set up those accounts? Because if they realize the purpose of the app, I think they'll be more entitled to, enthused to sign up for
Yes,
it.
ma'am. Well, I've been working with Ms. Gaskin, in addition to Mr. Chris Trehan, so that we can send out information with a step-by-step process on how to do that. Ms. Gaskin has done that before, so we want to continue to repeat this process until we have all parents involved. So that is going out, and again, at your specific school where your child go. Not just you, Ms. Pearson. Anyone, any parent. You can contact your school, and they should be able to support you as well.
Okay, thank you.
There's actually a tutorial on the website that takes you step by step, a video that takes you step by step on how to register in the portal and use the
Y'all
portal.
need to keep attacking me.
I'm just saying. I'm just putting that out there for you.
Director Milton Roberts.
My question is real simple. Since I don't have a student in the district at this point in time, is it possible that we could have an opportunity to try it out and see what it looks like and so forth, just so that we kind of can understand what the parents are seeing, because we can be good commercials as well and help to encourage?
Of course, yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Other questions? If there are no other questions, we'd like to thank Dr. Brooks for his presentation.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We will now move on to item 7, items for discussion and action. Item 7.01, HB 711 open enrollment. We're going to hear from our superintendent at this time. I am not accustomed to my superintendent sitting so far away from me. It's good to have my secretary and my vice president at my side, but sometimes that's my support system right there. So, Dr. Michael Triplett, we will hear from you at this time.
So, if you're not familiar with Missouri HB 711, it was introduced to the House in 2025 in state regular session. It proposes the establishment of the Public School Opening Enrollment Act. This act will allow students to transfer to public school districts without being residents in that area. The bill aims to enhance educational opportunities by increasing parental involvement, providing access to programs and classes that are not available to the students in their home area, and offering curriculum options that align with parental preferences. Now, the issue, as we see it, as a superintendent, it's my primary duty to ensure every student in our district has access to high quality and equitable education. While I recognize the intent behind HB 711 to expand options for families, it presents a serious concern that could weaken the stability and overall effectiveness of public education across our state. In my opinion, and the opinion of my superintendent colleagues, this bill threatens to strip critical funding from districts like ours, not because we're underperforming, but simply due to student transfers. When dollars follow students without accounting for essential fixed operations like staffing, transportation, and facilities, the results is an unfair disadvantage for all district students already serving most vulnerable populations. Furthermore, this bill could widen educational inequities by creating an uneven playing field. Some districts may choose to accept the best and brightest of our students, while others are left with fewer resources and greater responsibilities. That raises an important question. Is this really about choices, or does it favor convenience for some at the expense of others? So I'm asking, it is a recommendation of the district to the Joint Executive Governing Board to take action immediately to pass a resolution in opposition of this legislation, thus joining the other 196 other school districts that have already done so. I'm hopeful that we can show our leaders that our local school districts are overwhelmingly opposed to this bill. There is a resolution I placed in board docs, and I have a physical copy here. Just in case the board says, yes, we will support the resolution in opposition of this legislation. This document was created by our partners at Ed Council, so it is legally vetted so that we could move forward and join our other school districts who are opposed to this legislation.
Thank you, Dr. Triplett. We will open this up because this is a hotly contested issue for the region at this time, and we want to make sure that we are all clear on the request at this moment. This is House Bill 711, also known as the School Choice Bill. Are there questions? Mr. Humphrey.
Well, we're going to take a motion in a second first and then open for questions, or just go straight to questions?
We can do that. So it has been recommended to this board that we make a motion to join the 196 districts who have signed a petition, a resolution, voicing our protest or resistance to this bill.
So move.
Second.
It's been double moved and double seconded. So we've got a first from Humphrey and a second from Taylor.
Okay, thank you.
We will open for discussion at this time.
I have a question.
Yes, Ms.
Thank
Taylor.
you, Superintendent. So my question, the thing that concerns me, when I was reading the information, and it was saying that even if these children decide to go to another school, there is money that Normandy School District still has to pay in order for those students to go to other schools. Is that correct? Is that how I read it?
Well, transportation is on the parent.
Okay.
But the money that would come for that student to the district will follow the student to the
Okay, that's what that is. So are the parents aware that they would be responsible for that?
I'm not sure how the state is getting the information out, but we can definitely put information on our website with regards to what House Bill 711 is and what are the cons of it.
And so because sounds like we are going to oppose this bill, and if we do that, is there something that we can put in writing that says to those parents, if you choose to allow your student to transfer to another school, it is your responsibility, and you won't be able to come back to the district and say, hey, the district has to pay for it.
Well,
because you know you're gonna get opposition.
But I don't want to put the carriage before the horse.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
So I want to wait to make sure what it looks like in House Bill because it may not pass. I pray it doesn't, but I don't want to put that before the.
Okay. All right. But we know that everything that we say goes on record, right?
All right, Mr. Humphrey.
Yeah, one of the things that, as I was reading that House bill, because I know there's a couple of different bills that are kind of companion to it. One of the language in the bill talked about if there was a need to pay for transportation to a school district, that, and I think that might actually be in the Senate bill, where it talked about DESE would actually select the school district that if there was a need to pay for transportation. My biggest thing is that the language, as I saw it, it would allow up to 5% of your current, 3% now? Okay, 3% of your current enrollment can actually go to a school district. Part of the reason that I'm very offended by it is because when I think about what happened with the transfer bill, we had children that went to other school districts that we had to pay, and in one instance we paid transportation, but the receiving school district had no responsibility to let us know academically how those children did. All they did was receive the money and send in a report saying, and so it's critically important to us that we put together the best educational system that we can so that we become the district of choice for parents in our community.
Thank you. Milton Roberts.
Kind of adding on to that, I think that another reason why it's very important for us to join with the other districts is that what people kind of lose sight of is the fact that school is not just those hours you spend in the classroom, but it is also the time you spend in the culinary program and the time you spend on the football field and so forth. And so in looking at what happened when they did do the DSEG program and so forth, a lot of those kids were left out as it related to all of those other activities. So, they went to that, to school, that was it. They didn't have friends, and it was really not a very good situation. Not to mention the fact that down the road, when administrations changed, they turned off the program. And so there were some kids that were basically, they've been going someplace for a while and then they no longer could go there. So it's a very scary notion, and it's not etched in stone. And so if we want what's best for our kids, I think what's best for our kids is to ensure that we're doing the best that we can for them, giving them what they need, so they don't even have a thought or a need about going someplace else. So I'm definitely for keeping our kids in our district.
Thank you. Other questions?
I would like to say something. Thank you.
Ms. Pearson.
Thank you. I was waiting patiently. Previously, this type of situation cost our district estimated of $15 million that we could have stayed here. The other part of me supporting it, opposing the bill, is they didn't want our kids there. They didn't want our kids there. The type of climate that we're in now, and I'm speaking of administration, and I'm not speaking of district administration, I'm speaking of United States administration. As Mr. Brooks stated, they already want to cut funding. So just think, if this bill does pass and our children do go over there, then what? So.
Other questions or comments before we do a roll call vote? All right. Ms. Rigsby, would you do us the honor?
Yes, sir. The vote on the floor is to oppose the HB 711 open enrollment. We'll start with Director Edwards. Sorry.
Yes.
Director Pearson. Director Pearson.
Yes.
Vice President Humphrey.
Yes.
President Hodge.
Yes.
Secretary Taylor.
Yes.
Director Milton Roberts. Director Dr. Petty.
Yes.
Yes has it, President.
Thank you.
President Haas, there's a petition that I will need you and Director Taylor to sign so that I can get it sent off tomorrow.
We will do that immediately. Thank you.
Sir. It's on its way. It's probably right at.
And thank you for that presentation. We will move on to item 7.02. We will have a summer school update.
You get Tony Brooks again.
Dr. Brooks.
Good evening again.
Good evening again.
Good evening.
We will be talking, when I say we, Dr. McConnell and myself will be presenting on summer school and making a recommendation at the end. Again, we will focus on strategic priority number 1, engaging environments. We know the most important aspect of summer school right now is having our parents, as mentioned before, enrolling our students via Power School and the Student Information System. So again, a plug to have parents focus on that. Students aren't automatically enrolled in summer school. They're not automatically enrolled in school for the 25-26 school year. Again, that's why I'm so adamant about ensuring that parents know about Power School. We really are doing a push for that. When we talk about enrollment, summer school enrollment is going on right now. It ends April 18th. So again, all of our students that we want enrolled in summer school, we want them to be enrolled as soon as possible. That gives us a better idea as to what we need to do regarding faculty and staff, and Dr. McConnell will speak to that a little later. Also, the expectation is for us to have as many students as we possibly can in summer school to help close that gap, that academic gap that we're having in education. Traditionally, for summer school, we focus solely on students who have received a D or an F in core classes such as reading, math, and/or science. This year, we want to focus not only on those students who need additional support, but we're also opening it up to students who want to go for enrichment. So ideally, we'll have a high number of students attending summer school this year. To continue the presentation, I will welcome Dr. McConnell up to the podium.
All right. Good evening to the board and superintendent. My name is Tiffany McConnell. I'm the Assistant Superintendent of Curriculum and Instruction. We are pleased to inform the board that we will be implementing the SAVIS Summer Impact Curriculum for core instruction for ELA, mathematics, and for science. Now, this curriculum is carefully curated to address the learning gaps that our students may have and also reinforce any key standards that our students may have only partially mastered during the regular school year, hence the need for extended time during our summer programming. In each of our core content areas, we will be emphasizing specific skills. So in ELA, we will focus on decoding skills, reading comprehension, writing skills, and vocabulary development. In mathematics, we will concentrate on problem solving, number sense, and conceptual understanding of more sophisticated mathematical ideas. In science, we're emphasizing inquiry-based learning, STEM activities, and critical thinking skills. Each of our sites will also have tailored instruction to meet our students' developmental stages as well. So at our Early Learning Center, we will focus on kindergarten readiness, early literacy, and early numeracy. In elementary, we're focusing on those foundational skills that students may have missed during the regular school year, and we'll also focus on prerequisite skills needed for the upcoming grade level. In middle school, we'll do the same. We're focusing on 6th, 7th, and 8th grade essential skills and core subject reinforcement. In high school, we're focusing primarily on credit recovery. So any student, any high school student who is credit deficient will have an opportunity to regain those lost credits and get themselves back on track for graduation. So I mentioned credit recovery. We will continue to implement Edmentum, which is a self-paced, competency-based online learning program, and our students will also have an opportunity to participate in-person explicit small group instruction as well. Each of our students will take a pre and a post assessment through iReady in both ELA and mathematics. We will focus on the standards mastery component of iReady, which will ensure that we are aligned to all of the standards that are being taught in summer school, and we're able to measure the progress of our students. Here you see just a little snippet of our transportation plan. We have 12 bus routes based on our numbers, our preliminary numbers, and we'll, of course, have designated pickup and drop-off locations for all of our students. Each student will have breakfast, and hot lunch, and we'll follow all safety and health protocols. We will also have a nurse at each of our designated sites. Here you see a very detailed budget of the expenditures for our summer school program. It includes salaries, benefits, materials, supplies, and all of these funds will come from the general operating budget. So at this time, we're asking the board to approve our summer school program for 2025, and Dr. Brooks and I will be happy to answer any questions you may have.
Thank you, Dr. McConnell. We have been presented with a recommendation, so I will entertain a motion to approve that recommendation.
So moved. Second.
It's been moved and properly seconded. We will open it up for discussion at this time.
I have one question.
We'll go to Milton Roberts, and then we'll hear from Ms. Pearson.
A couple of questions. The first one is, you said that you are looking at those students that are behind, they get first opportunity, and then the other students that might have an interest in coming. So how do you differentiate that? I mean, how do you, I guess my question is, if you have both, are you going to then have teachers that are working to do enrichment versus working to do remediation, or how does that work?
Yes, we have already looked at our data and determined what students we can anticipate will be participating in our summer school program, primarily for remediation. So we have those numbers in place, and then based on our enrollment, then we'll decide what teachers we will designate for any enrichment opportunities that we need to have at each of our sites.
Will enrichment be available at the middle and high school level
Yes.
as well as at the elementary school level?
Yes,
Okay.
all sites.
Okay. And then one last question. I noticed that you had selected the CASA location for the high school students, and I was just curious as to that location.
So that's been changed. We are moving our high school students to our high school, primarily in West Hall.
Okay. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you. Ms. Pearson.
My question is, I know that you have a cutoff, I'm not gonna say cutoff date, but a deadline. Let's say you need to extend that deadline. Is that possible?
After discussion with superintendent and the rest of the cabinet, we're open to it, looking at our numbers. But we do want to encourage our families to go ahead and enroll. We're meeting with principals, we're pushing it with principals, we're keeping an eye on our enrollment numbers so that we do meet the April deadline, and we do that because we have to staff properly, and we need to make sure we're looking at those numbers to ensure that we're properly staffed.
Thank you.
I have a question.
I think William Humphrey, and then we'll come to Ms. Taylor.
Well, first of all, thank you for the presentation. The question I have was two questions. One, you're using the Savas Summer Impact. How does that differ with what was used the previous year? How does those two programs differ?
So we did use Savas Summer Impact last year. And so we're continuing with the program. We were pretty happy with the program and the results that we received. We like it because it is, summer school is only about 21 days. And so we look at it as an extended school year. And so we know we have to be very intentional around what standards we expose our students to. We make sure that it's matched up with our already data to ensure that we can make an impact during the summer months. So we've used Savas now for 2 years.
Okay, and I guess the other thing I wanted to ask about, to see if it's possible for the board to actually see data around the number of students that are in need of credit recovery, because I know that that's been a challenge in prior years, and it would be helpful to know, what the extent of that is, because the 21 days may or may not be enough to help kids that are, depending on the number of kids that are impacted by credit recovery. So it would be helpful to quantify that so we can have a better understanding of what the big picture looks like.
Absolutely. We'll get
We
that to
can
you.
have the high school principal present that information.
Okay, thank you.
It's great. Thank you. And Ms. Taylor.
And my question was regarding the credit recovery. So the majority of these students are aware that they are behind in their credits. Have you all reached out to the parents, or the parents are aware that these students are?
Yes, about 3 or 4 weeks ago, we did send credit notifications to our families, or to students and to their families regarding their status around credits.
And are you getting any responses as far as those parents making sure that their children are signed up for that?
I can definitely check with Principal Nave on that.
Okay.
And get back to you.
One other thing, and because it's only, like you say, maybe about 21 days, if they have not achieved those credits, what happens, during the next school year?
Yeah.
Are there any kind of programs or anything that's set up for them? Because we know a majority of them are, far behind as far as the credits.
So they will have an opportunity to engage in Admentum during the regular school year as well. But we are taking a look at our credit recovery system or programming overall to include maybe night school. The options are open. We do recognize that we need to look at that a little closer so that we can ensure that all students have an opportunity to graduate on time.
Okay, thank you.
But Director Taylor, I will say this, and sometimes we ask the right questions to the right and or wrong people, because Mr. Nave is the one who has the plan for the regular school year. Dr. McConnell is working with Mr. Nave to make sure that those things marry in case those students do not finish their credit recovery in the summertime, especially if they're a senior, right? Because it'll hit our 5 or 6 year graduation rate. But Mr. Nave has that plan already planned out on how that, he and Dr. Powell, on how that will work for the ensuing school year.
Thank you.
Milton Roberts.
I think she had a question.
Yeah,
Ms. Edwards.
thank you, President Hodge. I do understand from the last school year, the summer school enrollment, I noticed that you did speak to having additional students, not only students for credit recovery, but those for enrichment as well. Several students that I can recall were turned away. So do you have a cap on the amount of students that you will take to ensure that that won't happen again?
Yes, there's no cap. If they enroll, they will participate in summer school.
The issue is not always around cap, it's when they register or when they show up the first day. Because we only have 21 days, we try and optimize or leverage all the time we have. And if you have some students showing up 5 days into the program, that's kind of when they get turned away.
Milton Roberts.
And hopefully I'm asking the right person. You're talking about summer school. My question is, when do they register for regular school? And how do you, again, kind of going into your point, how do we make sure that we are making a smooth transition, be it from the early learning center to the elementary school, elementary to middle, middle to high, and so that we don't have so many situations of credit recovery or not having them in the right, kind of setting?
Yeah, I'll defer to Dr. Brooks around enrollment for the regular school year.
Summer school enrollment ends on April 18th, which is a Friday. That Monday, April 21st is when we open enrollment for the 25-26 school year. So we button them up as close as we possibly can without overlapping and having confusion with parents, not knowing which way to go. So we've pushed it out as far as we could regarding summer school enrollment. And we're starting enrollment for 25-26 immediately that Monday. Did you have a second part to the question?
Yeah, yes. I always have a second part, I'm sorry.
That's okay, what was the second part?
So my second part, well, I'll go back to actually, I think it'll be you. Who are the instructors for the summer school? Do we already have those folks, or is that something that we still need to source, or?
Yeah, we've opened up, our HR department has opened up internal candidates. We really want internal candidates to participate in our summer school program. So that's already begun. And we are in the midst of hiring summer school principals.
Okay.
So those things, those staffing pieces are underway.
Okay.
Yep.
Thank you.
Okay.
All right.
All right. Well, thank you so much. We appreciate the presentation. If there are no more burning questions,
I have one burning question.
we're getting down into the details.
Well, no, this is a burning question.
Okay.
As it relates to the transitioning from one school to the next, will there be scheduling and so forth this year so that the transitions are smooth going from one school to the next, one grade to the next?
Oh, yes, absolutely, always. Yes.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah. One more question, Ms. Pearson.
Hey, Dr. Brooks, what was that day again for the
She's gonna go sign up for Power School.
Because I don't want to get tackled about Power School, none of this. What was it? You said regular school.
Regular school enrollment for the 25-26 school year will begin on April 21st. It's a Monday.
All right.
But we're going to send that out
You can
as
email
well.
her and make
We're going to send it out to everybody.
Thank you so much. This is a wonderful presentation. I've got one more thing. I've got a question. Last year, we didn't hear, I didn't get it, the date for summer graduation. Will we have summer graduation again, and do we have a date for it?
I don't have a date for it. It will be happening, and you all will know as soon as the date is confirmed. I'll
Great.
ensure
We
that.
definitely we want to celebrate our scholars at every opportunity we have. So let's make sure that we promote that date. Thanks again for your presentation.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We have moved another item 8.0 7.04 to item 7.03, which is a discussion of our Summer Leadership Academy. We've been provided with this information, and we will now hear about that discussion and that present. I believe there's a presentation that goes along with that.
Yes, sir. President Hodge, as our superintendent prepare, I want to acknowledge that to our directors that I failed to move this item to items of discussion and action. As I met with you and Dr. Triplett, I was instructed to move that to that area, but I failed to do that.
We did that through a motion today.
Okay,
We did
so
it through
I
a motion.
apologize.
No need. Thank you so much. While we're doing that, I am going to entertain a motion that was discussed prior to this meeting from Director Edwards regarding Lawrence Moroney's scholarship, and we can take care of that point of business pretty quickly.
My last name is Pearson.
What did I say?
Edwards.
Okay, all right, Director Pearson. Director Pearson.
I wanted to speak on the LM 39 weekend from Lawrence Moroney. Lawrence Moroney, I stated every board meeting, is a proud Normandy alum. When he was drafted in the NFL, he had a red and green Cadillac Escalade. But anyway, he is having a mental health weekend. It is a 3-day celebration that collaborates with the community, mental wellness, and the impact of athletes in their environment. There will be a VIP social hour, jamboree, a brunch, or after party with pro athletes like Sheldon Richardson, Kaylin Saunders, Larry Hughes, and then there's Felicia Lamar. She's been in HR for 20 years with the St. Louis Cardinals. I'm part of his board, and we want to make sure that our students see different views minus their community. I proposed that our district or board get a table for the brunch to support Lawrence. The event will be held on Normandy property, and it's free for the children. The jamboree will include health screenings, literacy, mental health options, yoga, chiropractors. It's a lot of things that's going on that weekend, that day.
Can you give us the date and the details for this this motion?
It is May 3rd, May 2nd through May 4th. The 2nd is the happy hour, the 3rd is the jamboree, and the 4th is the brunch.
You're asking for this board to use board funding. The Normandy Schools Collaborative Joint Executive Governing Board has a budget to support nonprofit organizations where we sometimes buy a table for board members as a first priority. And so you're asking for you're proposing a motion to purchase a table for the fundraising event. Is that correct?
That is correct.
What is the date for that event?
That date is May 4th.
And the cost?
It is, let me pull it up again. Sorry, I should have had it up. Give me one moment.
I think last year was...
It is $1,500.
And how many people are seated at the table?
10.
Okay. So we have a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
Discussion.
I have something I'd like to say.
Absolutely.
All right. I'd just like to say we did have the opportunity on last year. Director Pearson presented that to the board. We did approve it, and some of us were able to make it. It was a very worthy cause. And so because Lawrence Moroney is an alumni of the Normandy School District, and we want to make sure that the community knows who he is, We want the community to know what we're doing. So I think it's a good idea if we will support that event.
Other questions?
Slide it down.
all right.
Slide it down and then touch. Slide. Start from the top.
Okay.
Milton Roberts.
I would like to say that I am now aware of some of the folks that are going to be a part of this event. And what I really think is really cool about this event is that it gives, especially some of our young men and women, an opportunity to see how being healthy and athletics and so forth can really change your life. There's one person that's going to be there that now has his own fitness facility, and I've known him for quite some time, and he's a great mentor. And so I think it's a good opportunity for our kids to see this and to see this entrepreneurial spirit also and charitable spirit that they're giving.
Thank you. Other questions? Being none, I will call for a roll call vote from our secretary.
President, I hope I get this right. We are taking a vote on purchasing a table at the Lawrence Maroney event for $1,500.
Yes.
Am I correct? Okay. So I'll start again with Director Edwards,
Yes.
Director Pearson,
Yes.
Vice President Humphrey,
Abstain.
President Hodge,
Yes.
Secretary Taylor,
Yes.
Director Milton Roberts,
Yes.
Director Dr. Petty.
Yes.
The yes has it.
The motion passes. Thank you so much.
Thank you all.
Thank you for your patience, Superintendent.
All right. Get me up, man. There you go. Thank you.
Being here, Scotty.
All right, so we'll have some discussion, and I'll ask for the board's actions on the 25-26 Leadership Retreat. Normandy Schools Collaborative's 25-26 Summer School Leadership Retreat is a pivotal moment for our district's leadership team to come together in a meaningful way through shared learning, deep collaboration, and intentional relationship building. Scheduled for June 26th through June 29th in Columbia, Missouri, this retreat offers a unique opportunity for leaders to step away from their day-to-day routines and fully immerse themselves in a purposeful training and strategic way. So why off-site? So the first one is we know that we have a lot of distractions when we do a lot of training and things locally. We worry about our buildings and who's looking after our buildings. We have families locally, and all of those things kind of lend to distraction. So we want to create an atmosphere where we got focus, we're intentional about the work, our administrators are engaging in the work, minus the distractions, okay? So, and it helps with morale because people have a tendency when they're in other places to really show up and be involved in the work. So that's the intent of the leadership being off-site. So we conducted a survey of our participants last year. The first question was, how relevant were the sessions to your role and responsibilities? How would you rate the quality of the content presented? How effective were the presenters in delivering the content? How well organized was the retreat? How suitable was the venue for the retreat? How satisfied, Freudian slip, were you with the logistics? And how satisfied were you with the overall experience of the retreat? So when we looked at our numbers, at question one, 86.1% hovered in the field of very relevant and somewhat relevant. And remember, the questions are, how relevant were the sessions to your roles and responsibilities? The second one, how would you rate the quality of the content presented? There were 93.8% who said it was excellent and good. How effective were the presenters in delivering the content? 87.7% said very effective and effective.
How well organized was the retreat? 100% said well organized and very well organized and well organized. How suitable was the venue for the retreat? 96.9 said excellent and good. How satisfied were you with the logistics? 93.9 said very satisfied and satisfied. How satisfied with you with the overall experience of the retreat? 95.4% said very satisfied and satisfied. Now, what does the data mean? Well, it means that when you start talking about strong alignment with purpose, it means that the sessions were clearly relevant to the participants' roles, showing that the retreat content was very aligned with the leadership's team, day-to-day responsibilities, and strategic priorities. High-quality content and delivery. Over 90% of responders rated the content quality and presenters effective as excellent or good. This reflects strong preparation, facilitation, and relevant topics. Excellent planning and execution. Ratings for our organization's logistics, venue hovered around 90, between the 90 and 100 percentile satisfaction. This demonstrates that the retreat was not only thoughtfully designed, but also executed smoothly. Off-site location was a strength. The high marks for venue suitability reinforced the value of hosting a retreat away from district distractions. The environment supported deeper focus, better collaboration, and stronger engagement. The morale and satisfaction were high, with over 95% of participants reporting satisfaction with the overall experience. It's clear that the retreat helped build morale, strengthen relationships, and inspired a sense of unity with a shared vision. Now, overall, the data strongly supports that the leadership retreat was highly effective, well-received, and strategically beneficial. It accomplished its goals of fostering connection, deepening understanding, and advancing leadership capacity by setting a solid foundation for that upcoming school year. We're asking the board to, this is the breakdown of the budget. And what we're asking the board to is to approve the budget, not to, these are the number of people who will be attending. I'm sorry, it's 68. Now, just for your edification, we had around about the same number last year who attended, and there was about a 96 to 98% participation rate in that survey. And this is the budget projection. This budget will come from our PD 1% to cover the cost of the professional development. I don't have a fuzzy grasshopper or anything to signify its Carlton, but we'll just let that roll.
Can you please explain what PD 1% means?
So every school district has 1% of their entire budget donated to the professional development to develop all of its staff, both classified and certified.
Okay. All right. And it is your ask of this board to approve this expense for staff development.
Yes, sir.
All right. I will entertain a motion.
So moved. Second.
It's been moved and properly seconded. We will open for questions at this time. Milton Roberts.
At this moment in time, I don't think you have the agenda, firm or anything like that.
Right.
But will we be able to have some input, be able to look at the agenda so that we can make sure that we're in alignment?
Well, what we'll do is the same thing we did last year. We'll ask the board president, the board to arrive there the day of the event, but you won't really have any input into the presentation. But you'll tell us what you want to cover in the presentation, so that we can make that a part of the agenda. Absolutely.
Okay. All right. That's what I'm looking at. Okay. Thank you.
Ms. Taylor.
I had a question. On the planning, it had the Joint Executive Governing Board, and it said one night.
Yeah, that's usually that's the first night
Okay.
for the board to just kind of present and also kind of team build with the team later in the evening, just kind of so people can see you as human and not just board members.
Yeah, and I guess my question was going to be, because it's a 3-day and 3-night, correct? And so how long will the board stay? Because I know last year we were,
One
I guess,
night.
asked to leave. Okay, so we'll only be
One
there
night.
one night, okay. Can I ask why?
Well, you can say as long as you want, but we'll be, because that's a leadership retreat. It's not a board retreat, and we want to make sure we're legal, right? And making sure we're not having a lot of board members there to be mistaken as something different.
Okay, thank you.
The retreat was phenomenal last year, and so hats off to those who organized it. It was an incredible experience, and the board, we all wanted to stay for the entire time. So, but they put us out. So that's why
Ms. Rigsby, let me tell you. So there was a committee, and Ms. Rigsby headed
That's
that
why I asked
committee,
the question.
and she stayed on my case about it. So, yeah. Yes, I am.
Let me start the engine.
Toss her right up under the, she got tired of my screen on her.
That's why I asked the question, because I know last year we were able to stay, and it was, we had a really great time. It gave us an opportunity to bond,
Get to know people.
and get to know one another.
So I'll say this.
Can we do 2
Taylor,
nights?
if and I'll
No, Ms.
ask
Taylor.
trying
Ms.
to get
Risby to
nights.
check into it. And if
No,
there's-
sir. Hold the line on this. We will not pay for these board members to be a part.
Can we call a vote on it?
No, I'm talking about the Friday night with
No, I'm
the
serious.
events.
If I'm
Yeah,
gonna
go
go, I'm
on.
gonna stay 2 nights.
You go home.
Oh my God.
All right. So are there
Stay 2
are
nights
there
if
other
I'm gonna
questions?
go.
Are there other questions?
Lord.
All right. Thank you so much.
I did
Reach
have
out
a
to
couple
you.
of questions.
Okay, Mr. Humphrey.
As I looked at the feedback from last year's, there were a couple of things I was hoping that I didn't know if the planning committee had taken those things into consideration. I know there were several people that talked about the length of the retreat, if it could be shortened by a day, and then I think there was also what was the other question that was common? For the most part, I think a lot of the comments were favorable.
Yeah.
I think it was, there was a concern about whether or not it should be, could it be local versus, I know that the intent was to get away so people didn't have distractions, but I think that was one of the questions was, could it be local and could it be shortened by a day? Is basically the comments from the feedback.
So let me say no, because the decision was made based off the data. So that's a little bit small corner of what the entire data says. And so I'm sorry, I'm making decisions based on the data.
Okay, well, I just want to, since it was kind of an opposing opinion, I at least want to make sure that it was at least considered at the time you were planning.
No. I'm telling you right now, no. If we take all things in consideration, then what is a vote for, right? Why do we have surveys? So the survey, if you look at the survey, it overwhelmingly, better than 95% said we like this entire retreat. So if I we can have some conversations with that person. If they want to leave early, they can leave early. But for the most part, everyone liked the length of the day, the time of days, the number of days, the location. Everyone.
Okay, I just asked, was it considered? You answered me.
Yeah.
Good. Thank you. Other questions?
2 days.
All right. Well, great. Thank you. With that,
do we vote?
Yeah, we're about to vote
Okay.
right now.
you're doing,
Ms.
Tony
Rigsby,
Yes, sir.
we need to take a roll call vote.
Yes, sir. The vote on the floor is, the ask is that the board approve the leadership retreat. Start on the other end. Director Dr. Petty.
No.
Director Milton Roberts.
Yes.
Secretary Taylor.
She's only going to do
She
it.
want that day. She was extra
If
day.
he says 2 days. Yes.
President Hodge.
Yes.
Vice President Humphrey.
Yes.
Director Pearson.
Yes.
Director Edwards.
Yes.
Rigsby is
Yes,
on.
sir.
Thank you, Superintendent. We will now move to items 8, which is items for consent. We have items 1 through 3 that have been provided to the board in advance for this meeting. So I will move to item number 9.01, which is I will entertain a motion to approve the consent agenda.
So move.
Second.
It's been moved and properly seconded. We do need to approve these by roll call vote.
Yes, sir. The vote on the floor is for the consented items to be approved. We'll start at the other end. Director Dr. Petty,
Yes.
Director Milton Roberts,
Yes.
Secretary Taylor,
Yes.
President Hodge,
Yes.
Vice President Humphrey,
Yes.
Director Pearson,
Yes.
and Director Edwards.
Yes.
Thank you so much. We will move to items number 10, 10.01, board announcements and comments. We'll start to my right. Ms. Edwards.
Thank you, President Hodge. I just wanted to say that at the last board meeting, I was absent due to some advocating work that I was doing in D.C. on behalf of affordable housing in our community. And I want to take this time to say thank you to all the appreciation gifts that I received upon my return. They were greatly appreciated as you appreciated me. Dr. West, my goodness, I can't even think of this man's name now. Yes, Dr. Payne. How could I forget? Dr. Payne, our middle school principal, it was just overwhelming. So I do want to say thank you for those gifts. Principal Nave, thank you for those gifts. I really appreciated them. And that's all I really wanted to say.
Thank you. Director Pearson.
Hello. Along with Director Edwards, thank you to everyone for your gifts. I greatly appreciate it. We had to make 2 trips. So, yeah. But I do want to say I hope that everyone did their due diligence and voted today. This election is major for our city and our municipalities. Last week I had the privilege of attending Ribbons Day at the high school, and I'm not really an emotional person, but I was almost brought to tears because the amount of students that have plans for after graduation, whether it's employment, trade school, you asked me something? Oh, okay. Whether it's employment, trade school, college, it was great. The Normandy High School Alumni Association honored the students with $50,000 in scholarships. That's not including the acceptance. We had people that were accepted to Duke. I forgot it's a girly name, but it's like not too far away from here. Full ride scholarships. That's all I kept hearing. And then it was the fact that the students support each other. Like they were getting their names called and it just was loud. So, and they had ribbons, good ribbons. So they really made me nice gowns, very nice gowns. it just made me feel really good to see that, being a Normandy alum. I also got to attend the Wellness Day that Dr. Triplett and the HR team hosted for the staff. No, I'm not staff, but Dr. Triplett did extend the invitation to the board, and I'm going to take the invitation, especially when I can go enjoy. But it was good to see the staff out of their suits and ties and out of the classrooms and enjoying each other. We had a dance contest. We learned a few slides, learned about the different programs that the healthcare provider has. It was great. You all are awesome. Again, the Lawrence Maroney Mental Health Weekend, May 2nd through 4th. The information is also on the district website, along with lm39foundation.com. The Week of the Young Child, Normandy Early Learning Center is doing a community collaboration with Urban Sprouts, Star Coaching, and United for Children. It's going to be this Saturday from 10 to 1 at the Early Learning Center. I encourage everybody to come out. There will be literacy, health screenings, food, games, all of that such for the young child. Dr. Payne mentioned support the whole child. That's what we all should continue to do with our children in our school district, is support the whole child from early learning all the way up to high school graduates. One more thing two more things. We talk about a lot of what happened instead of what is happening. Let's move in the future instead of staying in the past. Jossie mentioned the Annie Malone Parade. I was a part of the Annie Malone Parade from 6th grade until my senior year. I would love to see everyone from the district participate in one way or another. And congratulations to Ms. Rochelle at City Jump Family Entertainment Center. It is a new youth our version of main events in our neighborhood, in our community. Is right where the old thrift store, I forgot what the name of the thrift store was, but that's where it's located. It is nice. I had fun, and I am an adult. It's for kids. So, yeah, be great. That's all I got.
Thank you, Director Pearson. Mr. Humphrey.
Well, first of all, thank you to all the presenters and the work that you've done to get us to this point within the school district. I wanted to, first of all, thank everyone that had given us gifts during the school board appreciation, because as someone said earlier, I had to make multiple trips to the car to get everything that had been given. And I know that was extremely thoughtful of everyone that took the time to prepare something for us. The other thing I had an opportunity to experience is that I went to the operations department, did a staff event it was a top tier event. It was extremely well attended, and everyone there was highly engaged. There was games, there was food. I mean, I had people saying, I've been in the district 20 years and I've never experienced anything like this. So I think you've set the bar very high.
Yes, Ms. Day,
Yes,
you did.
good job.
So once again, I would just say hats off to you and to the team that worked with you that pulled off a very superior event. I think it was well received by everyone in attendance. That's all I have.
Great. We're going to go down to Dr. Petty.
Good evening. In the interest of time, I will be brief in my comments. I want to first just thank everyone who presented tonight, and in particular, I want to underscore the great work coming out of the culinary arts classes with Chef O'Bannon. It's remarkable what she's been able to do in that sector, and so we definitely wish her well in retirement. I also want to recognize Dr. Payne and the great work that he's doing at the Early Learning Center. It's phenomenal. We continue to receive multiple indicators of reliable data and information about his leadership and those that are under his tutelage. Dr. Brooks, I want to thank you for minding the finances the way that you are. The fund balance is absolutely something that we can point to that is positive for our district. And I appreciate you keeping that fund balance and being aware of the ebbs and flows and keeping us well above the state minimum requirements. There are a lot of other things that we could recognize, Mrs. Day, the team building exercise, I did hear about it. Mrs. Days, we did hear about that, and it was definitely something that the people enjoyed. They were looking forward to it, and they're looking forward to more opportunities to team build and collaborate in that way. So thank you for doing that. And that's all I have. Thank you.
Thank you. Cheryl Milton Roberts.
Hello. First off, I just want to say that I'm really excited about the presentations that I heard and just the interactions that I've been having with all the members of the cabinet and the staff. You guys are what make us great, and so I'm really, really excited about that. You stole my thunder talking about the operations meeting, because that's like one for the record books. That was great. But I've had some other great experiences in the district as well since our last meeting. I was able to spend some time at Normandy School and be a part of a very, very, very strategic guided coalition meeting. And it was like being on YouTube, watching an instructor, watching our principal facilitate that meeting and seeing the teachers so engaged. I also got to see how he sets the mood in his building when you walk in with the music and the videos and so forth. And so the whole building was just kind of zen and chill, and that was really very cool, and I was really excited about that. And he's got a partnership that he's doing with some outdoor work as well, so that's exciting. I'm excited about what's going on at the high school. I didn't get an opportunity to go to the ribbon cutting. I had some surgery, but I did have an opportunity to take a look at a pretty fantastic video that the young people worked on at the high school. And I'm really excited that I will be in the high school, Ms. Risby, and you write this down, on Friday. And I'll be there actually representing my place of work. And we'll be talking to our students about Garrett Morgan, who is an African-American inventor, and talking about transportation and some of those kinds of things. So trying to bring as many opportunities to them as we possibly can. I also want to say thank you for all of the wonderful appreciation gifts. I think I've worn the Barack Obama t-shirt or sweatshirt multiple times. I've had many opportunities to drink out of my various cups, and I'm now learning to have an appreciation for coloring, so I appreciate that. And so those were all good things. One of the things that I think is very important for us right now is that we've got to make sure that we're taking care of us and we're taking care of the community. And so one way to do that is by all these things that we've been talking about that has to do with mental health and physical health and so forth. And so one of the things that we need to be doing in our community is feeding the mind. And so, you know, I always talk about reading. Summer's almost here. Parents, if you're listening, please go out and look at the blueprint for summer. Please go to the public library and sign up for the reading programs there. There are things on Blueprint for Summer that is free, okay? There are scholarships. There are reading programs at the library. We need all of our scholars to be reading this summer and the adults to be reading with them. The other thing that I would like to call out is that as I said, we're going to feed the mind, but we got to feed the body as well. And so I don't know if you all know this, but we have one of the oldest community gardens in our district. It's called Wayside Community Garden. If you are interested in growing something, it can be a pumpkin, it can be tomatoes, whatever it is that you want to grow. They are offering plots for $20 for you to have a garden plot that's 10 by 7. And so anyone is welcome to come over and to garden. And I was there last week, and there were all kinds of people coming out of the woodwork getting garden plots. You don't have to know how, because there's plenty of people that will help you, including one lady that I think was there when they first started the garden, and she's giving advice and had her grandchildren there and so forth. So healthy bodies, healthy minds, and so that's something that we need to do. Lastly, as I said, we need to make sure we're really supporting our community. And we have some new businesses over in Belnor. We've got 2 new restaurants over there. And I would love for everybody to just seek out what other things we have in our community so that we can keep our community healthy and strong. With that, I'm going to stop talking, but I really appreciate all that all of our educators and administrators and teachers do. Our teachers are our greatest resource. Our kids are our legacy. And so we've got to continue to pour into both because they are what make us great. Okay?
Thank you. Director Taylor.
Good evening again. I'd just like to start by saying Director Pearson made a comment when we were in one of our meetings, and she said the question was asked, one of the positive things that have happened, and we have not had any negative impact via television, radio, internet, Instagram, and so that is a plus for us. And so I do just want to applaud the Normandy School District because we are making changes and we see the changes that are coming. The atmosphere is different, the attitudes are different, the personalities are different. And speaking of that, I just want to say to our chief security, the question was asked regarding the language being changed. And so rather than being called negative things, we want to speak positive things. And so when we say frequent flyer, I think Director Humphrey said that frequent flyers, we want to give another name because when we say negative things to our students, they hear that and then they act on that. And so we need to speak positive things into the lives of our students. And so our students are the most important things that they're the most important thing for me. And so coming to the board, it has always been my desire to see our children to excel and to be the best that they can be. Not all of them are going to get those ribbons. Not all of them are going to be able to go to college on a full ride. But whatever they do, we want to encourage them. I do want to say thank you all to all of the principals for all of the nice gifts that were given to us on the next meeting. And I can say one thing that they didn't say. I didn't have to make multiple trips because I saw a dolly sitting over there and I put all my stuff on the dolly and I asked Officer Robinson to take it out to the car for me. So I appreciate that. But I just want to say even after that, I received, through the mail, I received a T-shirt. And so on today, I decided, I knew it was ribbon cutting day. And so instead of doing that, I decided that I was going to wear my nice T-shirt to let everybody know that I am a board member on the Normandy School Board. And I'm proud of that. I'm proud of that. Sometimes we don't know, what our callings are in life. And even as we grow up, even with children, they'll decide in the 6th grade, they may want to be an educator. By the time they get to the 9th grade, they may decide they want to be a phlebotomist. By the time they get to the 12th grade, they may have another occupation in mind. And so we don't know what we're going to be. And I never thought that I would be sitting in this position, but I'm so thankful to God that I am here, and I'm hoping that I'm making an impact in our community. And so I just want to say thank you to each of you all, and thank you for the work that you do. Thank you most of all for your dedication. When we deal with children, and we know in 2025, a lot of our children have a lot of issues. They have a lot of issues, and when they come to school each and every day, we don't know what they've experienced on the home front. But you all take them in, you show them love, you still deal with the attitudes, the personalities, and everything else. And so I just want to say, keep up the good work. And most of all, I'm going to do this shout out, and I want to give out a shout out to Dr. Leeson, because you all don't know this about me. 2 things. I like socks. And so I like socks that have something different that people don't have. People always compliment me on my socks. But the other thing is I love flowers. And so I thank you, Dr. Leeson, for giving me some flowers. And they say, give people their flowers while they can smell them. And so I thank you all. Again, I just want to thank you all for all of the wonderful gifts. Thank you for all of your hard work, and thank you for your dedication that goes into making this school district what it is. And it takes all of us. And remember, it does take a village to raise a child. So let's keep doing what we can for our children. Thank you.
Thank you. I was just making a list here of some names. Reverend Dr. Pearson, Tony Neal, Pamela Westbrooks Hodge, Sheila Williams,
Yes.
Cedric Portis, Reginald Dixon. These are former board members, people who have sat in these seats before us. These are giants in my eyes. And when I think about them, I'm humbled to sit in these nice little comfy chairs. These are really comfortable.
They're nice.
It's really nice room that we sit in. But we haven't just inherited a nice room and great facilities. We've inherited a very big calling to serve our community and our most precious responsibility, our children. So I want to say thank you to this board, Dr. Petty, Ms. Milton Roberts, Ms. Taylor, Mr. Humphrey, Ms. Pearson, and Ms. Edwards. Your service is greatly appreciated. Today is election day, and we have elected throughout this region people to serve on our school boards. And we don't know what the results are because we decided to work on this day of this election. And we have 4 people to run for 2 positions that are available here. And we don't know who's going to be on this board. But I believe that if it is God's will that you be elected to be on this board, it comes with a heavy responsibility. You get a nice chair and fancy screens and 5K video now. This is incredible. But it comes with a big responsibility to work on behalf of the people of this district. And so I humbly say thank you for giving me the opportunity to serve. It is an honor of a lifetime. With that being said, I'm going to turn it over to our superintendent, which is item 11.01, comments from our superintendent.
Good evening. So as we go out, I just have a few dates. April 10th at 6 p.m. here at Campus Support. Our new board members and the voting of the board seats, the officers, will take place in public session. On April 11th, here at Campus Support, the new board members will have onboarding training, only those for the new board members, correct? Just the new board members. April 17th, from 6 to 7, the high school will have its Family Advisory Council, right, Mr. Nair? And I believe next week opens our windows for our state assessments, our EOCs, and our MAP assessments. I want to remind families to let's get involved, right? Let's increase our parent participation rate. Our parent participation rate is probably around less than 5% district-wide, and most of that is at the Early Childhood Center, right? So let's get involved. Let's sign into our family portal, Power School Parent Portal, Power School Parent Portal. And start registering. That's how we communicate. That's how you can communicate with teachers and have those conversations. So we don't have to wait on schools to contact us or to contact you with regards to our children, right? You can reach out to teachers in the parent portal. Summer school registration is underway. Regular school session registration will be underway soon. So let's get in there and get involved and get our babies registered for summer school so that we won't miss the first day of summer school, right? Please visit normandysc.org and select Family Resources on the homepage to learn more. Our HR department and business department is trying to team together to get a really solid system that plays together well in the sandbox, meaning we have some really fossil programs in our district, and it's been piecemealed over the years. This system functions for HR, this functions for benefits, this functions for finance, this functions for accounting. So you have all of these systems. So we're trying to get all of these things under one umbrella to make sure it plays well in the sand and we can do things efficiently. We'll be breaking the ground at at the new football stadium sometime this month, later this month. We'll be doing some kind of celebration for that, so stay tuned. May 2nd through 4th, again, the LM Foundation. Last year, we had an absolute awesome time outside. It was hot as heck, though, but we had an amazing time.
It was hot.
We was under the tent, and everybody's fanning everybody. But we had an amazing time, and I'm a true believer in people who make it giving back to their community, giving back to their school district. And I had a conversation with someone. What makes where I'm from so proud in our high school is that we come back and we give back to our high school. This is what Lawrence Monroe has been doing, been trying to do, and for some reason he's been hitting roadblocks. Our district is committed to supporting our alumni who's done remarkable things and want to give back. We will not, I refuse to allow us to push them back and turn them away. They're diamonds to us, so we'll continue to work with them so that they can be out front, kind of showing our students what success looks like, what hard work looks like. So I thank everyone in here. I do want to give some really good kudos to Ms. Days for her function with the operations team, and Ms. Gilliard and her team with that amazing Wellness Friday we had. It was absolutely amazing. And I'm gonna tell you something. We don't have international teachers. We have extended families, and they were doing the electric slide and learning quick better than we were doing it, right? And so, just amazing. Then we had Leela. What's Leela's last name? One of our extended family members. Amazing voice. I was surprised I didn't see Cheryl Milton Roberts because she's normally at those functions dancing too. But it was absolutely amazing. And it's just how they just come here with us and fit in. And we continue to make them feel like they're family because they are. So this is bigger than Nino Brown. I'm just kidding. This is bigger than just a one person or one entity. This is about all of us with one thing in mind, and that's the students. Now, I'll tell you, and I'll be the first to tell you, if you're not for these babies, you're in the wrong place. So make it about these babies. Get out of your attitudes and behaviors. I call it the attitude gap, President Hodge. Normally you say educational gap or academic gap or achievement gap. I call it the attitude gap. And those people who stay in the way of progress. Our babies deserve it, right? And we deserve to work in a space that appreciates us and that supports us. And let's continue to do the things that we're doing now, let's continue to do it irrespective of what's being said on the outside. We know what's happening on the inside. So continue to do that. I appreciate every last one of you, every board member, every family, every staff member. I appreciate all of you and love you the same. Thanks a lot.
Thank you so much, Superintendent. I will entertain a motion to adjourn to executive session.
So moved.
Second.
It's been moved and properly seconded. All those in favor, please. Oh, we need to do that by roll call vote.
The vote on the floor is to move to executive session. Director Dr. Petty,
Yes.
Director Milton Roberts, Secretary Taylor,
Yes.
President Hodge,
Yes.
Vice President Humphrey,
Yes.
Director Pearson,
Yes.
and Director Edwards. Thank you.
It is 8:32. We are adjourned.